Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that The Lion King finally came out. I haven't seen it in the theater yet, but I'm like dying to go and see it. And I wanted to create this Lion King makeup look for you guys. This definitely is probably the hardest look that I've ever done. Patience is key with this look. So if you guys want to see how I created this Lion King makeup, and keep on watching. Okay guys, so I am referencing this photo of the Lion King's cover, trailer, picture. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to be dipping into my Makeup Forever Professional palette. This is the 12 flash color case, and we're just going to give this a go. I have my music on my ears. Whenever I do like creative makeup, I like to kind of zone out and get artsy fartsy. So that's how I'm going to get through this tutorial. So I may do a voiceover, it might not, might jump in, but I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. So I'm going to be mixing a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow to start making this sunset. You don't want it to look perfect, so you don't want to start with like a clean surface. You kind of want this to look messy with texture and different tones. So don't be afraid to like get a perfect surface if you are doing this. I do like doing this part with cream products because it's easier to blend, and then if I need something to really stay in place like the lion, that's when I'll use my water paint so it really stays in place. But for this you kind of have a little bit more freedom because it's more movable. I'm going to dip into a little bit of white just to create a little bit of texture before I continue. Also, a little tip whenever you're doing something that's trying to be symmetrical, take a photo of yourself with your iPhone, and that flips your face opposed to how you look at yourself in a mirror. So you'll be able to get a different visual of it, and you'll be able to kind of recognize where you need to tweak to make it look more symmetrical. So that's a little tip for you. I'm going to be switching back and forth between voiceover and talking just because I got really in the zone and I forgot to talk. But right now I'm just dipping into a red watercolor now. So switching from my cream palette to my watercolors by Mayron. And I'm just creating these really, really nice linear clouds that overlook the sun. I'm kind of just replicating the cover of The Lion King at this point. So now I'm just trying to create this really big fluffy cloud that kind of is the background for the lions looking into the sun, so that it's not just a sun, it's kind of a nice sunset. So I'm just taking my time and building up different colors and textures until I get it right. So once you've got the main part down, you always want to start with the nice background and base before you add any detail. So I've got the main part down, and now I want to start really creating some detail and making this really look realistic. So I'm just adding a little bit of this yellow to the top of the clouds to look like the sun is just reflecting off it. I also did powder my face off camera, and I'm just going to tweak this more and add in more detail. So now I'm creating a nice little dirt patch for the lions to stand on overlooking this gorgeous sunset, and I'm just doing that with a little bit of the brown water paint, again from my Mayron palette. So I ended up doing the lions, the dad and Simba, and I just didn't like how it looked, so I ended up wiping it away. So right now I'm just kind of trying to revamp the clouds that I just wiped away. And you know, sometimes this is how it goes with makeup. Sometimes it gets messy before it gets better, and that's just the way of life. And as you can see, I just totally canceled out Simba because I want to start completely over. A lot of times with makeup, when you've never done something before, you're kind of getting a feel for it, and then once you do it a second time, you actually do it so much better. So sometimes it's actually better to just take it off and redo it. So right now, I'm just trying to bring back some life into the clouds before I attempt to do these lines again. Okay, moving on to the hard part. If you are recreating this, I highly recommend you use a very, very tiny detailed brush. The tinier the brush, the easier this is going to be. I wish I actually had a tinier brush, but I didn't. So when I first did the first set of lines, I started them with a dark brown, and that's actually really difficult because you can't really add in your detail afterwards. So my advice is to start with a lighter color, and then you can fill in where you want to. I'm not going to exactly explain how to do this because it's difficult. It took a really long time, and I kind of debated just taking the whole thing off because it was tough. But with anything in life, sometimes you just gotta be patient and keep on going. So I'm really just taking my time and doing this very slowly, looking at my reference photo. And whenever you are doing a look like this, it's so important to just have a reference photo so you can just focus on what you need to do. So my biggest tip is to just look at one tiny area, kind of try to emulate that before you move on to the next area, and that way you won't get as overwhelmed. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to the face before I kind of finish this off. I've done the majority of it, but I wanna kind of let it soak in before I make my final tweak. So I'm gonna focus on the face now. I'm gonna be going into my Bare Minerals foundation. I actually really, really love this. This is in the shade 03, which is Buttercream. I like it just because it's a pretty natural finish, and it feels really good on the skin. Okay, I'm gonna go into my Born This Way concealer. This is one of my absolute favorites, and I'm gonna conceal like I normally would, except avoiding my forehead. I'm going to be contouring today with my Pure Cosmetics Camo Contour Sticks. This is my Ride or Die. I'm just gonna do my cheekbones really quickly. Next up, we're going to be bronzing up my face a little bit just to give me a little bit more cheekbones, chisel out my double chin, you know, all the goods. This is my Bare Minerals bronzer, and I'm just going to quickly do this all over my face. Whenever I am doing like a theatrical look, I kind of go a little bit heavier on my contour, my nose contour, my, you know, like the chisels of my face, because I feel like it's already a dramatic theatrical look, so I can kind of get away with doing that bit extra step. So as you can see, it's not as natural as I normally do my makeup. I'm gonna go into my Ride or Die, my NARS Orgasm Blush, and I'm just going to apply this right to the apples of my cheeks. I'm gonna be highlighting my face with my Makeup Forever Pro Fusion Highlighter. I love this, especially if you're fair like me. It just highlights your face in all the right ways. I'm going to be going into my Beige Cosmetics palette and dipping into some fun shades to kind of pull the same colors from my forehead onto my eyes. So let me zoom you up to give you a better look. So I'm just taking an orange from that eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to just buff this out into the crease of my eye. Now I'm going to go into a red just to start deepening up the crease a little bit, to give myself that nice sunset feel. And next I'm going to dip into a nice yellow and kind of buff out my crease with that shade. So I'm actually switching to my James Charles palette. I felt like the beige one wasn't super pigmented and I wasn't getting the color payoff. So I'm quickly just deepening up the colors that I've already done, and I'm also blowing this out on the bottom lash line and really extending it so everything is really, really nice and diffused. I'm picking up the first shade from the James Charles palette, which is that really nice pearl shimmer highlighter, and I'm just gonna put this all over my eyelid. Okay, I just finished up my eyes, and now we're gonna go ahead and finish off with a nice red lip. I'm first gonna go into my Buxom lip liner, and this is in the shade Mystery. It's a nice like plum shade, and then we're gonna fill it in with my L'Oreal Paris. Alrighty guys, here's the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I absolutely love how this came out, and although it did take me a really long time, it was really frustrating at times and I had to take things off and restart it. That is just the way it goes with makeup and with creating and with life. Sometimes it gets messy before it gets good, and I think you guys all kind of saw it happen here in this video. If you do want to see more from me, remember to check out my Instagram at juliatiannadxox. Subscribe down below to see weekly videos. Click the bell in the top right corner to get notified every time I post. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!